Since I'm so much in a Yu-Gi-Oh mood lately, I thought I made a video on structure decks I would see. It's not that big of an analysis since I'm not really into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But you know, it always warms my heart if an old deck gets some most appreciated love. I try to not add any deck structure archetypes that already got a structure deck. Like I would have added Rainbow Dragon and Crystal Beast, but they got a shitty structure deck already, so there's no point. Like why is there no card that just um, treats a graveyard like you have multiple Crystal Wing Beast and lets you just summon Rainbow Dragon for free? It's not like Rainbow Dragon can use its effects to turn it's summoned. But whom am I to judge? I am not a card designer. Let's just move to the first one. Obviously, five-headed dragon structure deck would be nice. So the problem with five-headed dragon is that it has too many fusion materials, and you don't want to have cards that allow you to send a bunch of dragons to the graveyard, because graveyard manipulation is a thing. We need another way to easily summon it. And yeah, definitely an easier summon condition card would be nice. Maybe additional cards that give it removal abilities, like in the anime, summoning this thing is so hard, but nearly impossible. But once you did, he couldn't attack, but in exchange, all monsters of the opponent's side were destroyed. And destruction effects in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! From what I see are terrible. And don't want to destroy cards, just banish everything your opponent has as a reward for summoning 5 God-headed dragon. That would be a possible reward, I think. Another thing is strong elemental dragon retrains. We have seen some dragons, several dragons that have been fused to 5-headed dragon. Pick some old cards that you desire to have retrain some dragons that either summon each other or make fusion summoning this card easier without needing a fusion spell. I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities, like this water dragon summons the darkness dragon lets you add the fire dragon. As the fire dragon allows you to allow fusion summoning to 5-headed dragon with any dragons from your hand, field, and graveyard, but maybe give some restrictions that you can't summon any other extra deck monster besides 5-headed dragon. For example, it's not like this. I don't know how this could have been balanced. Try to restrict summoning a bunch of broken monsters, just focusing on this one specific iconic card and making you want to play it. That's what I want from a 5-headed dragon structure, that elemental road or something you can call it. I don't know, I just made that up. Obviously, a counterpart would be, I said Kaiba and Yugi Unison, because in the anime we have seen how they really team up, and after seeing Red Eyes Black Paladin or whatever, I think we need some support for Kaiba and Yugi. I decided to pick Dragon Master Knight, since fusion recruitment is a thing, but yeah, some support for non-effect monsters that are in the extra deck and ritual monsters would be nice too. There's easy ways to get out BLS or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, so you can fuse for Dragon Master Knight and maybe tap out for some OTK shenanigans. There's a lot of things you can do. Maybe just make a new fusion for Kaiba and Yugi. Dark Magician and Blue Eyes got a lot of crossover support, but they have no singular fusion yet. And I think if they do that, that will be even more broken than the red ice monster we got. I would definitely not want to see a retrain of Dragon Mastermind. I think we don't need that. It's just maybe giving most more effects to the existing Dragon Mastermind because it's a legacy card. And in legacy spot you don't I don't know, I don't like when cards just get upgraded versions because I like to use the old card usually. I don't mind alternative artwork or whatnot. And would be an interesting structure type to have. What it would do is flat out beat down. Like this is you summon and then your meteor rains through the defenses of your opponent. Speaking of that, because that's just a reference to Walking of the Dragons, the filler arc with dots. How about an Orichalcos structure deck? Shunner's really needs a retrain because it's actually a Orichalcos card. And maybe abilities closer to the enemy. And maybe some upgraded Orichalcos field spells that you can activate only if you have the original seal of Orichalcos. Because Orichalcos had a lot of upgraded versions you can only use if you have Orichalcos. There are still a bunch of monsters that people would like to get printed, I think, like Orichalcos Gigas. Whenever it's destroyed, it comes back even stronger. 1000 points. And effects, powerful effects for the cost of only using Orichalcos monsters. Like, if you want to make restrictions, just makes the restrictions that people can only use Orichalcos or the Divine Serpent. You know, the dragons, the big snakes that had infinite attack in the anime. And the real card is also really broken. And so that would be things I would like to see. And obviously, Great Leviathan could be the cover card. We don't know anything about the Great Leviathan. And just making a big boss monster for that deck would be nice. You can let it have anything. The only thing we know about it is that its power exceeds that of the Egyptian gods. They had to combine attack as a combination to take it out. I think Konami has lots of potential with Great Leviathan in their hands, making a nice Orichalcos structure deck. Hieratics. I like Hieratics mainly because they make normal monsters relevant, especially dragons. But if they are summoned, they have 0 attacks usually. So I would like to see more. I misspelled Hieratics, didn't I? No, it's fine, that's fine. I put the wrong Hieratic because this one doesn't say anything about the archetype, and you don't want to use this. Well, I want more normal card support general, exceeding the summoning conditions maybe to non-effect extra deck monsters too, like dragons, or maybe even rituals. There's no non-effect ritual monster, but why not just summon a free Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon because you tributed one of these monsters? An easy way to tribute cards, like maybe spells that use tribute as a cost. Well, they do exist, but like Hieratics really want to get tributed, so make more cards that makes tributing easier. New extra deck monsters are probably the thing. Hieratics definitely are XYZ monsters. They have effects and have some extra effects based on whether Hieratics or normal monsters are used, or both. In that case, Hieratic has a really bad normal monster, which, since it's a Hieratic, you would technically get 2 effects in one. So you can maximize the power of that XYZ monster if you were to summon it that way. And just some ideas. What could those effects be? Don't ask me. You can figure out yourself, I think. What what could be the effect? Probably not more tribute stuff. And like Hieratic's boss monster is pretty bad, that XYZ monster. You have to detach an XC material, then you have to tribute monster to destroy cards. That's like double cost. We don't want that. Number 5, Venom. Venom really are completely forgotten by Konami. And I think that's mainly because they could think that the monsters they have are really broken. But I don't think that's really the case. So I feel the problem is that Venoms, while they do distribute counters, those counters do nothing without the field spell. So one issue would be that we need a field spell searcher specific for the archetype. Maybe some snakes that summons the swamp. Yeah. Snake Venom's not swamp. I don't know what the name was. A searcher for snake rain to dump your graveyard full of snakes. Easy way to distribute counters without the field spell and get effects on based on the counters. Like say, well, you have a card that you have a monster on the field that has snake poison counters, venom counters. You have a snake that gets special summoned, then you have that. Then these amounts of counters are on the field, and maybe you can remove the counters from that card. Search this trap card that summons Venominaga, for example, and just set it on your field. You can activate it the turn it was set. The easy ways to get out the boss monsters is one example. That's what I was thinking. Because Venominaga has insane protection. Let's read what it says. Except the summoning condition which relies on a trap card and it gets 500 attack for every reptile in your graveyard. It cannot be targeted by and is unaffected by spell, traps, and monster effects. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish a reptile and revive it. And when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, place one Venom counter. When there are 3 Venom counters on this card, you win the duel. And you may think that's a broken effect, but you can only attack once per turn. So it needs to damage the opponent 3 times for you to win. I don't think that's a broken effect. But I think a way to get out Venominaga easily is not that big of a deal. Like, it doesn't have to be like tribute this card to get out Venominaga. We don't need these kinds of things, but some strategizing and a bit more ways to make stuff easier would be nice. That's what I'm thinking. It's not like Venominaga, even if you summon it immediately, is gonna ruffle stomp your opponent. It's still a 0 attack monster. If you have no snakes in your graveyard, this card is not gonna do any battle damage to your opponent. Is this battle damage? Yeah, it has to deal life point damage, I think. Yeah. It's not doing life point damage with Venominaga. You're not getting that win. And I think that's pretty much it for Venoms. Really need some really good support, and what we have was not nearly enough. They have decent support, but it's not enough to make the archetype what it is because the monsters are just bad, except Venominaga. Getting Venominum out easy peasy would be nice, but it can't be summoned with monster effects, so you have to be careful. Damage equals reptiles and as a possibility, but even that. Also, cards that destroy Venominum would be nice. Easier, like from your hand or graveyard. Or something. If from your field, easier. Well, let's continue to next. Neos. Obviously, Neos got a lot of really good support, but I think it needs more. Like easy based spells or traps or monster effects that gets a field spell out immediately and get out the fusions easier. What I would like also is more next support, and you say next is pretty much garbage. It's a failed idea. There's no point in going for next. We have mask change, which is far better and gives you much better monster. But I think just finishing the archetype is one excuse to make upgrades. The effects don't have to be the same as the monsters they are based on. Like Black Panther doesn't need to have an upgraded copy monster effect. I think it can just be a monster that just gets out your Neos, you get contact fusion and get a even bigger and darkest Neos or whatnot. Just a hummingbird fusing with Neos. They can just make a new replacement for air Neos, which I think it's time since air Neos is probably not gonna get printed, reprinted anymore for air Neos. Don't really know the story behind it. They try to avoid referencing air Neos as much as possible. A new fusion would be nice. And then upgraded next spell, so you are more intensified to use next cards that are treated as next. And more synergy between heroes and Neospace. And we got some, but it needs to be more like easy ways to get Neos out and since Neospatians and cards that support both. Maybe more draw power. That would be nice. You have some ideas. Last but not least, Moth. Why not? It's such an iconic card in the video games, in the anime. And cards that just alters the summoning condition would be nice, because we don't want to spend so much time and resources just to get out on freaking Moth. The next thing would be getting rewards for doing what you did. Like, don't just give one reward. Give rewards for various. Let it be like an achievement. You summoned Lava Moth. Why would you summon Lava Moth? Let's be the achievement. If you get Lava Moth on the field, you can just summon another Lava Moth and another one. You get 3 Lava Moths. You summon Great Moth. Let's say you summoned Great Moth. What's the reward? The attack points of all your opponent's monsters just becomes 0. Like, for example, I don't know if you really want to turn your opponent's attacks to 0. And you summon Ultimate Great Moth and it has just complete immunity, targeting destruction. And and just removes monsters from game when they aren't destroyed. Okay, that's a little bit too much, but an example. Support for level 1 normal monsters, more like these bugs that you have to run to summon these. Let's it be more rewarding. Petite Moth. You use Petite Moth. Give people intense reasons why they should run Petite Moth. And finally, an upgraded Moth, obviously. We need a new boss monster. And with a floating effect that floats into this thing and the other Moths. I think that's pretty much it. Like, there's a lot that can go wrong when you try to make a deck around Moths, but I think that's pretty much it. I think I have faith in Konami. They can do it. I have faith in the card designers. They did a brilliant job with a lot of the spots that came out. It's not that they didn't. I'm not pausing because they didn't. They did a great job with Cyberdark, support, combining it with Cyber Dragons. Actually, there's a reason you want to run Cyber End Dragon and Cyber Darkness Dragon. You summon that Cyber and Darkness, a Dark Dragon. That's such a big, powerful moment for a structure deck. And also the Sacred Beast structure deck. I didn't give it as much credit as I should have. Okay, just so many ways to get out the Sacred Beast. Insane protection. You have easy ways to get out Armetal, and Armetal gets an insane protection effect through the new fusion spell, and it gets a nice retrain which references the enemy, where you just give it to your opponents and banish everything they have, and then float to the old Armetal and get 10,000 attack points on board. So I think they can do that with 5-headed dragon, Dragon Master Knight, Orichalcos, Venom, and Moths. Also, they made retrains for Gate Guardian. I'm not so pleased about it, but it's not terrible. It's good support. Wish there was a way to make the old Gate Guardian worth getting out, because most of the people that have the old Gate Guardian probably have it as a secret rare. And I mean, those who actually care about Gate Guardians, that is.